My pleasure to give a formal introduction to a person that we've all come to know through campaigns and through his public service in Virginia. I'm very excited about the opportunity to work with the incoming governor. I would say this to you about him and the little bit of time I had a chance to get to know him in the last year. He is really committed to serving the Commonwealth of Virginia. After finishing his education, he came back to the Commonwealth, helped build a significant enterprise here in the Commonwealth of Virginia, and is truly a product of Virginia, invested in his community, and willing to serve the Commonwealth in the highest office that we have. Is truly a person that's committed to moving from not just business success, but life significance in public service. I want to thank him for his faith commitment, his family commitment, and his integrity as he has worked diligently to make sure that he presents a plan for his economic development strategy that will lift every Virginian up. We're very excited about the opportunity to present a long-term business plan for the Commonwealth. Please join me in thanking and welcoming the new 74th governor of the Commonwealth of Virginia, Governor Glenn Youngkin. Glenn.
Barry, thank you for those kind words. And I want to thank everyone for inviting me to join you today. It is really great to be here. I have to say, last time I was here, I was with the chamber as a candidate, hoping to have a chance to serve. And I am honored to be standing in front of all of you today. I think back to a kid who, when I was 15, was taking out trash and washing dishes at the Belvedere Hotel in Virginia Beach. And I dreamed big dreams. And today I'm moving into a new job, a job that was held by Patrick Henry and Thomas Jefferson, a job that is about service. And that's my version of the Virginia promise. You know, the spirit of Virginia is alive. And the spirit of Virginia started, yes, with our founders and lives in the shared values that we bring forward, but it lives in the aspirations of all Virginians who dream about a life that, yes, provides prosperity, a life where they can raise a family, a life where they can live those dreams, their own version of the Virginia promise. And so I am so excited and humbled to be with you today as we step into this next chapter. Now, the transition team is running hard. And I have to tell you that I've built many, many management teams in my career. This is the most important one. I am honored by the quality and the quantity of the people who put their hand up saying, yes, I am willing to serve Virginians. And that is so exciting because I will work with so many great people to build a great team. I'm ready to go to work. I'm prepared. In fact, this morning, I even got my booster shot. And so I want you to know that I continue to be a strong advocate for the vaccine and the booster. Please go get it. Please go get it. I also want you to know that I won't mandate it. I respect your decision. And I think that we can, in fact, protect lives and livelihoods. And I encourage everyone to respect that decision in individuals. And again, together, we can tackle this big challenge. I also so appreciate the hard work that has gone in to the Blueprint Virginia 2030. The leadership that we just acknowledged from Nazik and Ed and Alan, Barry, and so many people. But what I'm most encouraged by is the hard work that 7,000 plus Virginians put into it. And the opportunity to hear from businesses across this Commonwealth through more than 70 regional meetings and special conferences. And that is how we, in fact, prepare for the future, by listening. So thank you all for voicing your beliefs, but also for listening. You know, I just finished a hard-fought campaign. And I know many of you here supported me in that campaign, but some of you might not have. But I want you to know we're going to work for all Virginians. And today, we are on Team Virginia. And yes, I've stolen that name from another organization because I really like it. I really like it. But we, in fact, as Team Virginia, have an opportunity to implement, yes, our day one game plan, which I think will propel us in so many areas to have Virginia win. But also with the Blueprint Virginia 2030, we have a multi-year, if not multi-decade game plan for Virginia to win. So I want to make a comment today that you all hear me very clearly. I do not want Virginia to be on defense. We want to be on offense. And when Team Virginia plays, Team Virginia will win. I'm a little competitive, and I'm tired of watching jobs go to Maryland and Tennessee and North Carolina and South Carolina and Georgia, not to mention Texas. My wife's a Texan, so we have interesting conversations. But we are going to start winning, and we're going to start winning big time. You'll find no more enthusiastic chief marketing officer, chief development officer than me. I told a group recently of CEOs who had come together to champion Virginia winning, and I told them I was offended that I hadn't been invited yet. I can't wait to join the teams and to lead a few that are championing Virginia. But it's more than just marketing. Yes, we are going to market hard over the next 4 years and beyond, but we must together build a Virginia that wins. It's about the product, not just the marketing. And we have a lot of work to do. On the campaign trail, I heard stories upon stories from all over Virginia, from large business leaders, from medium-sized business leaders, and from a lot of small business leaders. And what I heard over and over again is it's hard to access capital. We have open positions that we can't fill because, yes, there were incentives that were put in place that oftentimes encouraged people not to come back to work. Our schools were closed. And as I just discussed with a lot of very, very experienced leaders, challenges with childcare. We have skill gaps. We have opportunities that people don't feel they can go get. And so we have an enormous amount of work to do. And many of these problems existed before the pandemic. And so here we sit today with an exacerbated moment because they're worse today than they were back in the beginning of 2020. During the campaign, I met a business leader who started his business in Hampton Roads and put his manufacturing in Texas. Why? Because the regulatory framework in Texas was more favorable. Access to labor was more favorable. The ability for his employees to actually live a dream life and, in fact, combat what is a higher cost of living here versus there is real. It's real. And as I said, we're not just losing to Texas, but we're losing to Tennessee and North Carolina and South Carolina and Georgia and Florida. And yes, Maryland. I was just with Governor Hogan and I said, get ready, sir, here we come. Because Virginia's going to win. We're 43rd in the nation when it comes to job recovery coming out of the pandemic. Get ready, folks. We're going to start winning big time. My day one game plan focuses on the elements that we need to put together to win. We're no longer going to lose in the competition for jobs. We're no longer going to lose from the competition for educating our children. We're no longer going to lose in the competition for talent. We're going to address the core cost of living challenge in Virginia by reducing taxes. We're going to make sure our schools work for all of our children, and especially K through 12, where we're going to raise the standards and focus on teaching our children how to think, not what to think. We're going to make our communities safe by comprehensively funding law enforcement and bringing law enforcement and our communities together and reestablishing trust. We're going to transform government so that it works for us and stops telling us what to do all the time and delivers in what should be a customer service business. And I've said over and over again, we're going to start with the DMV and the Virginia Employment Commission, not because I'm particularly upset with their performance, but they are customer focus agencies, and we have to improve performance. And we're going to jumpstart jobs in Virginia. We're going to create a climate where job creators, business leaders, and entrepreneurs, like all of you in this room, are actually supported and partner with government. And I want to say that again, supported and partner with government, because governors do not create jobs, you all do. And it's my job to work with you. And together we can create 400,000 jobs over the next 4 years and foster 10,000 new startups. Virginia can become the job leader, an innovation economy. And when I read through the blueprint, I am even more encouraged because I saw so many areas of overlap where all of the conversations that I had getting ready to run for governor were echoed in the conversations that all of you had. And it was translated into, yes, a blueprint on how we can step forward over decades, not just 4 years. And so I want you to know that on day one, we're pressing forward with our day one game plan that addresses so many areas that you have illuminated in the blueprint. But I am excited to take further elements of the blueprint and put them to work. And we can go to work on those today. On workforce development, my goal is for every high school student to graduate either college ready or career ready. We need a statewide vision for building Virginians' talent supply to ensure it aligns with the current and future needs of business. And not just as in Virginia as a whole, but recognizes that there are specific regional competitive advantages that we should educate into. But to do that, we have to bring outside of the box thinking, because our core mission for our children is to prepare them to compete. Our core mission for our children is to give them a quality education. And so within our public school system, we must expand alternatives. I know people get all caught up in words. Is this a lab school? Is this a charter school? Is this an innovation school? At the end of the day, whether it's an innovation school, a lab school, or a charter school, let me be clear, we're going to innovate in K through 12 education. We will work together to get the most important initiatives right, that our K through 12 education must in fact leverage partnerships with higher education institutions and businesses. And we will develop schools that will focus on preparing our children to be college ready or career ready. And we will provide choice within the public school system for families to decide whether they want their children in that school or not. And in addition to charter schools or lab schools, you choose what you want, we need to develop career and technical education in all of our public schools, all of them. We need to expand access to credentialing programs that require, yes, a high school degree, but less than a 4-year or 2-year degree. We need to support higher education programs that are partnering with private industry, like all of you in this room, to ensure that students are graduating with advanced degrees that are critical to the economy. Folks, this is an absolute requirement for us to focus on the skills and capabilities that are needed in order to drive opportunities of the future. This includes incremental funding that is dedicated for Virginia's historically Black colleges and universities. And I've said that over and over again. We need to collaborate on efforts to close the educational gap, the economic gap, the entrepreneurial gap that exists in Virginia. And for businesses ready to relocate here, but also for the ones that are here that want to grow, I will continue to boldly support the work at the Virginia Economic Development Partnership, and particularly the world-class turnkey Virginia Talent Accelerator program that they run. This is critical in order to give businesses the confidence that they will have the workforce they need to invest here. We will compete. We will have a world-class educational and workforce pathway for Virginians. When it comes to energy policy, I will pursue an aggressive all-of-the-above approach. And yes, that includes wind and solar, but it also includes clean burning fossil fuels. It also includes nuclear. And I think we have an exceptional opportunity to forge forward with a competitive opportunity to distinguish ourselves and our capabilities with nuclear power. Sometimes I feel that we forget that nuclear power is a clean burning energy approach as well. We have the intellectual horsepower and infrastructure to do that. I agree with the chamber that we need a diverse energy portfolio to meet all industrial, commercial, and residential needs. We also have to remember that it needs to be affordable. It needs to be reliable, particularly when we are introducing renewable energy sources. I was recently extremely excited to meet with TC Energy and the Williams companies about the new Virginia Reliability Project, which will provide much needed natural gas into Hampton Roads. They'll expand capacity while almost completely utilizing their existing right-of-way. It's a vital project. And by the way, it's vital to the offshore wind opportunities that we have, because we want to be a manufacturer and we need a reliable natural gas supply to do so. With regards to regulatory reform, I share your vision. That's why on day one, my administration will in fact go to work slashing 25% of job-killing regulations. I agree with your report that where permitting and licensing regulations are biting, we in fact have to accelerate the pace so that we're moving at the pace of business and not the pace of government. With regards to infrastructure, I am firmly committed to a major infrastructure investment, which includes ensuring that we have high-speed broadband internet access that is affordable in every corner of this great Commonwealth, so that Virginians who live in rural areas can grow their businesses, they can telecommute, they can take online courses, or they can just keep up with their grandkids over whatever social media platform their grandkids have convinced them to use. We have to continue to invest and grow the Port of Virginia. It's vital. And the key roads and rail projects that connect that vital asset to the rest of Virginia are critical to press forward with. But on top of that, we have to unlock connectivity all over Virginia. And I look forward to partnering with all of you and our federal government in order to make this happen. And with regards to healthcare, let me be clear. I share your goal of making healthcare accessible and affordable through the creation of benefit consortiums, so small business and their employees can access high quality health insurance. And therefore, let me be clear, when that bill comes to my desk, I will sign it. I will sign it. In order to be competitive, we are going to have to address taxation in Virginia. Virginians were overtaxed by $2.6 billion last year, and it's going to be a greater amount this year and going forward. A surplus represents taxing more than you need. We can fund a tax reduction and investment. My day one game plan calls for a significant tax relief to help ease the burdens where Virginia has become too expensive. The rising cost of living is driving Virginians away. So we will press forward with doubling the standard deduction, an immediate one-time tax rebate, eliminating the grocery tax, suspending for 1 year the most recent increase in the gas tax. And friends, we are going to make a big push to retain Virginia's best asset, our veterans. And so we're going to work to make sure that our veterans' retirement has a tax cut so they will stay here and stop going to the other states. Now, based on many, many discussions, these are becoming bipartisan issues. And so I strongly encourage Governor Northam to include these provisions in his outgoing budget that he will introduce in 2 weeks. For too long, Richmond has thought the best source of sustainable government revenue is higher taxes. I fundamentally disagree. The best long-term plan for sustainable government revenue is growing jobs and a growing economy. And together we can deliver that. And so on day one, let me be clear. Virginia will be open for business. We're going to put an end to fears that a lockdown is coming, because there will not be one. And we will end anti-business policies. I mean, during the campaign, I spoke to this extraordinary entrepreneur in York County. He'd been trained as a mechanic in the military, as a Marine, started his own business, had acquired incremental expansion space across the street, and he couldn't hire anyone to work there. We have got to get people back to work. I hear this story time and time and time again. And so we want to give every Virginian a pathway to a great job, whether they are a high school graduate, a college graduate, a military service member who is transitioning to civilian life, a stay-at-home parent who has left the workplace and is ready to come back. We need people to go back to work. One of the greatest lessons I learned in my life is that there is dignity in work. And every Virginian should have the opportunity to obtain the skills and the opportunity to obtain a great job. But we should also recognize that we must get Virginians back to work. We will create jobs. We need to make sure people take them, because economic growth is a key priority, but at the end of the day, it's job growth. And jobs that sit unfilled don't accomplish our objectives. So as your next governor, my job is to work with all of you to make dreams, that Virginia promise, come alive for all Virginians. So as I campaigned across the Commonwealth and I talked about a Virginia that can lead the nation in job growth, with opportunity on the rise, with small business owners able to dream their dreams and then go get them, with every graduate from a Virginia high school able to see multiple paths to opportunity, a Virginia with excellent schools, with high expectations and strong curriculum, a Virginia where our kids want to stay here and not move away where we have generational relationships. Friends, that's the Virginia we can build together. That's where the spirit of Virginia lives today. And that's why I have such a sense of optimism as we head into the next 4 years. So the future is at least upon me now. And I invite all of you to join us. On January 15th, we're going to work. We're going to work together to build this Virginia where we indeed are the best place to live and work and raise a family. I can't thank you enough for letting me join you today. I can't thank you enough for the partnerships we will forge going forward. I can't thank you enough for the opportunity that we all have to so fundamentally change the direction of Virginia. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. May God bless you. May God bless the Commonwealth of Virginia. Thank you.